North Carolina, get in here, get in here, get in here, because they trying to send Miss Shirley from the church to the jailhouse. They sure are. Because you know how she be sitting in front of the church trying to get people to register to vote. You know how Miss Sue be standing out there at the mall and whatnot, or down at the grocery store telling you, get registered to vote. Yes, so members of Rowan County, y'all need to tell Harry Warren that he needs to go ahead and go to the house, because clearly, and I'm talking about his front porch, because House Bill 127 was seeking to criminalize voter registration drives. That means no more going to the colleges and making sure these students are able to vote, because, forget about the foster kids, forget about the kids that, their parents don't know to even bring this up, or even tell, kids that, hey, you're 18 now, you should absolutely, do things that are adulting. They're just banking on these people not knowing. But they're trying to enter this bill to say that if you're not a DMV employee or an election board employee, that they want to ban drives by organizations, individuals, and private groups. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's no record of widespread problems regarding these drives, except certain people who sought to get people's information and then call them or email them with the wrong information about voting. Wonder who that sounds like. Sounds like the same people who's trying to disenfranchise folks from voting, doesn't it? But here's a little gotcha. There's this little pesky thing called the National Voter Registration Act. Section 6B was like, the voter registration form in its totality can be provided to private organizations. So please explain to me how we have all these fucking DEI hires, since y'all want to, talk about didn't earn it, as representatives. Because how do you get to be a representative, a constituent, have constituents under you, and you don't know that a federal act like this exists, and then you go and try to enter in some type of legislation to hurt people, and it takes activist groups to tell you, hey, this is not okay. But the fact of the matter is, you got staffers and none of your colleagues said, hey, you in that bad hanging suit, we shouldn't do this. But, everybody wants to talk about they're such Christians. Y'all are hellions. Because I know Big Sandal said that we should not harm people who don't know any, babies and fools. That's who we take care of. And you should not harm the less fortunate, those who you are supposed to teach. Because even though, the scripture says that we are to train up children in the way they should go, that also includes the village. That also includes, all of those people they come in contact with. But yet you all are always trying to create pitfalls and then stand around looking like, well, we're just trying to make sure that it's fair and just. If there hasn't been any problems, what fair and just do we need to do? What would be fair and just is cutting the gerrymandering. What would be fair and just is you standing up when one of prominent figures in this state decided to try to throw out 60,000 ballots and you said nothing. Because that should not have gone on as long as it did in that state. But yet and still, y'all are Christians. And you want us to believe it so because you say it so. But the mark of Christianity is through actions. And y'all are not doing in the lines of what would Jesus do. But maybe you are, because many of y'all are praying to that Brad Pitt Jesus on the stained glass windows instead of the scripture that says skin of bronze, hair of wool Jesus. That's why your prayers ain't going through. So now you got to do foolish trickery and shit. This tracks and makes sense now. America's not a real place. North Carolina, y'all better pay attention.